I'm giggling because but it's taken a little while to get ourselves organized for this episode, but it's all good because the person I'm chatting to today, I know really well. She's one of my franchisees with the Sisterhood networking group. She's become a lovely friend. Nat Silverstone, you are very welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, though.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to sharing your story with everybody. As I said, we've been in each other's lives for a little while now. I know a little bit about you, but I don't know all the juicy details. So I'm looking forward to exploring things in a bit more detail. But before we go back in time, would you just tell everybody a little bit about you and what you do now, and then we'll rewind the clock back.
Okay, I'm Nat. I run Glamour Events Hire, which is a full entertainment hire business up here in near Chester on the North Wales border. We cover the whole of North Wales and North West, occasionally go down into the Midlands, but mostly Northwest area. So it'll be 10 years in October that I started the business, so that's exciting. Um, yeah, I'm a mum of two girls, very boring. But
Not
I
boring, not boring.
love them to pieces. But yeah, I'm an open book, so I'm happy to talk about anything. I love people and I love being in business.
Yeah, I think we've got lots in common, and I'm really looking forward to delving a little bit deeper in, yeah, your story, how you've ended up with such a fabulous business, what's
Mhm.
led you there. So let's go back in time then.
Okay.
Where are you going to take us? Where do you want your story to start?
Honestly, my story really starts, in terms of where how I started the business is quite a funny story. I'm happy to start there. I mean, I can go back further.
I might drag you back further, but
Right.
let's start there.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how
Okay.
your business came about.
So if I go kind of back, I always knew I wanted to own my own business. I think in my 20s, I was just like, I didn't like working for someone. I found work life quite boring. I always thinking, why is everyone so busy? And I can finish stuff in 1 minute, and I'm sitting there tapping my fingers, thinking, can someone give me something to do? I fell into sales. I was a sales manager for a paper cup company, which is boring in itself, but I was there for 8 years.
You sold,
Um,
sorry, you sold paper cups for
I
eight
sold paper
years.
cups. I did. I sold paper cups.
Honestly, I mean, that is,
Yeah.
you need an award for that on its own. That's
Let me tell you
amazing.
all about a paper cup, about the installation, everything. But no, it wasn't for me. And as I sort of grew there, I realized, to be honest, my dream job from that, because I hadn't really thought about how I would ever start a business. I didn't have the money, none of my family own a business, so it was not really in my, line of thought. So I wanted to be a key account manager. It was kind of like in the sales thing. I was very good with people. I was always good with people, great at like customer relationships, etc. So an opportunity came up to be the key account manager for a furniture company for John Lewis. So I was like, love John Lewis. This could be huge. This is my dream job. So I quit my job at the paper cup company and I got recruited to work for the furniture company. Unfortunately, within literally, I wouldn't even say 2 days, I've never been so unhappy in my life. It was just the wrong environment for me. It was very toxic. An example, and I won't say the company, but people that work there will know. When I started on the first day, I didn't even get given a chair, and I had to just stand. And I was like, can anyone give me a chair? Something ridiculous like that,
No.
which is just really sticks out in my mind. And I should have just realized it was going to go downhill from there. But I lasted there probably 3 to 4 months before I kind of went into a bit of a breakdown, I would say, because I was that miserable. I would cry in the toilets every morning. I'd gone from being quite, sort of senior management and that everyone knew me for 8 years in an environment that I knew into this just very toxic, quite nasty place.
Did you talk to anybody? Did anybody know what you
No,
were?
no
And
one
did
knew.
they have a reputation for that? Or did you feel like you were being singled out and it was an
I
isolated?
So I
experience.
worked alongside two other key account managers in the department, one of them being the son of the owners of the furniture company, and then another girl, and they were like that together. So I was kind of like they were very close. And then it was like me coming in was ruin the dynamic. And then I didn't, no one told me what I was supposed to do. So I just started sort of like using my initiative and sort of just having a look at what people were doing around me. And I started working on something. And two of the girls that worked behind me, and I can't even remember their job title, but they were like, what are you doing? That's my job. And I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize. It's just I was told to put this presentation or something together. So I just thought I'd get started. And then she was like, no, that's my job. And then they were horrible to me for the whole time I was there, like little things like I wasn't invited to lunch and like it sounds really petty now,
No,
but when I
really.
think back, it was awful. It was just so awful. It was like it
Yeah.
wasn't the place for me at all. So
But what,
um,
honestly, bullying in the workplace, I mean, this is why being an entrepreneur, being your own boss, honestly, for the win,
mm,
everybody. Listening to you
100%,
talk
yeah.
about that, it really resonates with me because I've had those kind of experiences myself as well.
Wow.
And I do think genuinely anyone that behaves that way is it normally comes from a place of jealousy, of
Yeah.
resentment. They can see that you're great at what you do, that you have a brain in your head and that you want to use it. And they just don't like that. And so I'm really sorry that you had to go through that.
Thank you,
But
Sarah. Yeah, appreciate
yeah,
that.
everything happens for a reason,
It
as we
does
always
because
say.
I'm very much about life manifesting for the good. I'm a positive believer. Like I'm all about positivity. I don't do vision boards and things like that, but I very much believe that everything happens to you or for you in the good way, not in a negative way.
Yeah.
Which I know can be quite something that a lot of people don't like to say, when it comes to things that are completely out of our hand and there's no rhyme or reason for things, but there is eventually down the
Yeah.
line, I think for anyone.
Yeah, and
So
also
I
on that
understand all
note,
that.
what goes around comes around. So those people that were really horrible to you, yeah, let's hope that karma.
But the company's gone under, I know that. So
There, see, there it is.
yeah.
There it is. Divine retribution, is yours in the form of them not having a job anymore. So sucks for you. Yeah.
So that yeah, it's quite funny. But from there, I'm somebody that's always needed to work. I can't just sit around doing nothing. So I just started applying for all sorts, but for key account management jobs, it was like free interviews, long process, months and months. So I had to get an interim job whilst I was waiting on, interview process. So I just literally became a data entry clerk. And I've never been so bored in my life, but I met this lovely girl who I still speak to this day. We sat together. She was like, she'd just turned 17, I think, and must have been like 31. And it was almost like I took her under my wing and we just got on great. And it was literally, we had to stamp a certificate and move it on. Stamp a certificate, move it on. And you can imagine, like, I'd gone from sort of management, university management to, oh my God, what has my life come to? And it was a bit of a like, oh, what am I doing? But I knew I had to do something to earn some money. So I stayed there for a couple of weeks while still frantically applying for anything and everything. And so I applied for a sales management job for a hydraulics firm. Now, I don't know anything about hydraulics. I still don't to this day, but I went to the interview and it was going to be cancelled. The manager said to me, or he rang me and he said, look, I'm not feeling very well. Can we postpone? I said, well, no, I'm on my way already. It's all right, I'll come. And he was like, oh, okay. And I said, you'll be fine. And like, it was a weird conversation. Anyway, I came and that person happens to now be my fiance, who I fell in love with. So,
I did not know that
yeah.
story. Oh,
So when I
what
met
if you'd
Ian,
have, what if you'd have listened to what he said? That's so
well,
cool,
exactly.
isn't it? The
And what's mad,
universe
so he
was,
wasn't that ill. He had low blood sugar, and I don't eat chocolate. I've never been a big chocolate person. I'm more of a don't like a sausage roll donut person. But for some reason that day I had a Kit Kat in my bag, and he was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry. It's just I get really low blood sugar." And I said, "Oh, I've got a Kit Kat in my bag." And he went, "Oh, that'd be brilliant, thank you." And then when we started dating, I got the job and we started dating within a few months of me being there. But he still had this blood sugar issue and he used to have to run and go and buy free chocolate bars or something. He doesn't have it anymore. It's really weird.
yeah,
But he was the one that basically encouraged me to start my own business because I just said to him, look, I don't really think this job's for me. He was like, no, you don't know what you're doing, do you? I was like, no, I don't understand hydraulics. I don't know what I'm doing. And then it happened to be my mum's 60th birthday. And my sister said to me, we must get a photo booth. I said, oh no, they're really old. Because I remember one of my best friends in London had one of the, the old black and white passport style photo booths when they first came
Yeah.
out. And that was like 10 years previously to 2016 when this was. So I said, no, no, no. But Ian said, you know what? You'd be really good at that for a business. You love people, parties, etc. And I was like, I don't know. But I started researching, and the selfie mirror had just been launched in America. The big, I don't know if you've seen the mirror booths.
Yes.
And I just went, that's going to catch on. And within a month, I went down to Birmingham where they manufactured them and bought a booth and a mirror. And the rest is history, really. Like, and then, yeah, so over 10 years in October that I went and bought the booth
Oh.
and the mirror, and it's just developed and grown and stuff. So
Can
it's
I
good.
just, I have to reference, all that story that you just shared with us, all the different things that you've tried on for size. And um,
Yeah.
I think the qualities that you possess that have made you such a success now is that can-do attitude, that I'll try anything, that resilience, that, never say die, I'm not giving up, I can't just sit
Yeah.
around doing nothing. I think, would you agree that all the qualities that you need to be able to run a successful business?
100%. I think people often think it just happens, but I mean, I was driving to Sheffield for, just for a booth, just to get the photos. I went to London, I did the Daily Mail in London. We drove, at 2 o'clock in the morning to just because I got this opportunity to do the mirror with the Daily Mail, and I was like, sod it, I'm going. It didn't matter about how much things cost or travel at the time. It was like always for the photo, for the marketing. I was just doing everything and everything. I said yes to everything.
Mm.
And is that a strategy? Probably not, but it worked in the sense of I got some great photos for my website. We were going to wedding fairs every weekend. I built a reputation quite quickly. But the first 2 years were incredibly hard. And I am very fortunate that I was able to have a salary with Ian because, the wedding industry, you book weddings. I mean, these days it's a lot more last minute, but back then in 2016, people were booking 2, 3 years ahead. So, and I was charging and still do just a £50 deposit, which secures your date. So you can imagine, like, I was just,
Yeah,
yeah,
playing catch
I was
up
very
and having
fortunate.
to, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
thinking
was very
that far
fortunate he was
ahead.
able to support me for a little bit. Yeah. So,
Yeah, yeah. And now you've got two beautiful girls, haven't you?
yeah.
How old are your lovely two?
So Harlow's 6 and Sydney's 2.
Yeah. So, and I
So,
know, because obviously my children are grown up now, so mine are 18 and 21. So, and I've often said on here that I call myself the smug mum now because I'm out the other side of it. And when I talk about my children, I smile because most of the time I don't know what they're doing. So I don't have to think about mum duties so much anymore. But I just wanted to, yeah, talk to you about being a solo business owner and a mum of young children because it is a balancing act, isn't it? And you are literally doing that right now whilst you're chatting to me. And it's a challenge, right? Trying to figure out
yeah.
how they fit into it all.
I mean, I've got better at it. So Harlow used to just come to every delivery in the van with us back before when she was first born, because when COVID hit, we lost everything because we couldn't do weddings or events. So we did just birthdays. So I do light up numbers. So they were our bread and butter. And we were going out and delivering to people's homes, like doorstep collections of these numbers. And then she would just be bundled into the van with us because back then I didn't have staff to do deliveries. But I just think any mum that's working, whether you're working for yourself or working, nine to five, it's more hybrid these days, which helps. But it's we're good at juggling, aren't we? We're good at multitasking. Don't get me wrong, I have made some big mistakes. You know about the Tenerife saga, so I didn't check
Yeah.
my child's passport, and so we didn't go on holiday because it was expired. So that one was completely missed. So it's things like that 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 these things happen. But I'm very fortunate that I'm in a position now where I can go to sports day because I just can, or I can go to her school choir. Sydney's at nursery only 2 days a week, so I work around her. But we have our mummy daughter days, as I call them, every Tuesday, where I make sure I take her to gymnastics and just have that time because I do a lot of work at the weekends. So it's just balancing everything really. But things drop. That's in anyone's life, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, regardless of whether you're looking after young children or elderly parents.
Yeah, same, yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of the ladies that we spend time with now, the juggle struggle is real. Sometimes you've got it coming up both sides, young children, elderly parents, all the things that you have to factor in, whilst also trying to be, a good friend, a good sister, a good a good wife,
The
all the different
ladies.
hats that we have to wear. It's certainly a struggle. And one thing I know that you've also struggled with, and I hope you don't mind me talking about it because it's something I'm really passionate about, is perimenopause symptoms as well. Because
Yeah, I'm sweating at the moment.
it's a subject that obviously I'm hoping that I'm getting to the tail end of mine. So I'm like 7 years down the line with mine now, and I'm postmenopausal. But trying to navigate your way through all the challenges that presents, whilst being a young mum, whilst being a business owner, it's not for the faint-hearted, right?
No, I would say the last 2 years have been the hardest of my life. Um, just the hormones are just insane. I've not felt like myself. I know now that I've got ADHD alongside perimenopause. It's heightened. It's obvious from all the different, obviously hating being in work and stuff like that. But it's more the perimenopause size is more. You just suddenly just don't feel like yourself anymore. I
Yeah.
thought I thought I was going mad. Like, what is wrong with me? I'm forgetting things all the time. I'm very lucky now that, as you know, like obviously I manage Sisterhood Chester,
Yes.
and if it wasn't for being around those women and meeting women in, I would say, more holistic practices and businesses like that, whereas previously I always sort of was surrounded by solicitors and accountants and the sort of B&I crew as it were of networks. So now that I've met this wonderful group of women who support each other through the likes of perimenopause, ADHD, stress in business, burnout, whatever it may be, that I feel so lucky that I've got so many tips and support around me that I didn't have 2 years ago. Um, so I'm very grateful that I've got that. And I would say to any woman out there that's struggling, do find a community or a group of women that are, whether you're in business or not, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter because you do need it.
Yeah. It's
And
it's
there's
not
nothing really that you can really take. I mean, I'm quite good with exercise. I do exercise quite a lot, but for some reason nothing helps with perimenopause.
yeah, I
It's like, what am
think
I doing?
yeah, for me it was a case of really getting to know my own body. And
Yeah,
like you said, it feels like in some respects it's not, like you've left you're having some weird out of body experience because things are happening and you can't understand why they're happening. And one minute you feel like you're you, and then the next minute you're looking in the mirror and you don't recognize the person that's staring back at you.
yeah,
And it is a massive wake up call. And I don't get the chance to wear my menopause coach hat anymore, but I still really support or want to support anybody that's going through it, and
yeah,
anyone that currently finding themselves in that position where they're questioning things. And you mentioned ADHD and perimenopause. There's a lot of crossovers. There's a lot of things that
yeah,
happen as part of perimenopause that also happen because you're ADHD, and it can be really confusing time whilst you're trying to figure it all out. So yeah, I love that you've said that you now have this beautiful community that you can tap into. And we'll talk more about the Sisterhood Networking Group in just a second.
okay,
But yeah, so just being a detective, really understanding, and getting to know your cycle really well. If you're still having one, because it gives you clues. You can just, if you jot things down, you can
yeah,
figure out, what time of the month is it where I feel like I'm losing my mind and I want to kill everyone around me.
yeah.
What
When
time
am
of
I going
month
to have
is
a complete breakdown today
it?
at this
Aw.
specific time?
And I think it is just being kind to yourself, making sure those lines of communication are really open with everybody that cares about you. Because that's the other thing, is that you feel like you're the only person in the world that's going through this and no one understands, and you just want to hide yourself away and just pretend it's not happening. And actually, speaking to the people that love you the most, that it does make the whole process easier because then they can understand, they can, leave the house if you if necessary, remove themselves from the situation.
If you have a
Um,
supportive partner, then yes. My partner is very much, oh, just get on with it. But he's
mm,
not very good he's great. He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong, he's a great guy. But when it comes to women's health, women's mental health, women's menopause, whatever, he's just like, well, you don't hear men complaining. And I just want to punch him in the face. Because
oh,
when you just think to yourself, really? Because you don't have the hormones that we do.
oh,
So he's definitely not somebody that I can talk to, which is why I have my lovely women community.
oh.
So if
Yeah,
you
that's
are
a
with a man that's like that, just ignore them. They're just jealous of the fact that we can reproduce and they can't really. So
Well, that's true. That's true. And it is, this is, and I hate using the J word for this, but it really is a journey. And if you have a long-term partner or a husband, they have to come along for the ride. You're not going anywhere. This isn't going anywhere, and they've got to get on the perimenopause train and really, really try and understand and support you. And it is hard. It's, definitely trying to even just sitting him down and going, right, I need you to know this about me, and this is where I'm at, and this is what's happening. And it's easier said than done. I know if you've got someone that doesn't get it, but it's worth a try just for your sanity, if nothing else. So, how long ago
Mm.
was it that you came and joined us as a franchisee with the Sisterhood Networking Group? I'm trying to remember.
Well, randomly, I had a notification yesterday to say it was a year that I'd opened the Facebook group,
Is it,
but it wasn't until October that I started my first meetings.
that was it? Because I was
Yeah,
thinking, I'm sure
yeah,
it's not a year yet.
yeah. No, so it was a year that we spoke, and I sort of opened a group, but I
Yes.
wasn't ready to do the
Well,
meetings
ready to launch a
until
meeting.
sort of
Yeah.
post summer, the summer chaos, summer holidays, and all that, which is
Yes.
coming up next week. Yay!
Let's talk about networking then and our
Mm.
experiences of it, because anyone that's listening that maybe is just about to start a business or is currently a solo business owner and they're thinking, how do I get myself out there? How do I let, the local community or the world know about what I do?
Yeah.
Obviously, you and I are big fans of networking, but how has it changed? I mean, you've mentioned the holistic side and how it's supported you in that way. But yeah, talk to me about your experiences of building a local community, what it means to you.
It means so much to me because so when I first started in business, I knew that I had to network. I knew that I had to get myself out there so that people knew who I was and what I did. And so I joined BNI, which for many people is can be quite a scary environment. It's very corporate, you've got to do a 60-second sales pitch. Um, I was in BNI for 6 years, and I have to say it gave me the confidence to be able to present in front of people. And for me at the time, I was completely on my own. I didn't have children back then. So it was a regular weekly way of meeting up with a group of people that became friends eventually. However, it can put the fear of God in people. And I think there's a lot more now than there was then. But for me, the sisterhood, so I joined Amy's in North Wales originally before starting up the one in Chester. And it's just an intimate group of women. There's no competition. It's just, tell me a bit about your week. Tell me a bit about your business. What's going on for you this month? How can we support you? There's no sales pitches. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to. Obviously, most women want to and do. But there's absolutely no competition or, it's just very supportive and it's such a nice room to be in. And I love that I get to pull people together that go, oh my God, you know that? I mean, it happened this morning with me. I met quite a few ladies from the sisterhood group and we all met for a breathwork session and one didn't know the other and then we went for lunch together and then, the collaborations happen and I'm just sitting there going,
Oh,
I just love it. I love it when people connect and I love knowing that I was the one that like connected, and you're like, oh,
yes.
you know that person, oh, I know that person.
Oh,
It just fills my car up, as they say, but the
yeah.
obvious answer, but it really does. And I just
Yeah.
like, if I can just create just a small room that's it for me. It's absolutely fantastic. And a lot of the women that are in the sisterhood are from what some people call lifestyle businesses, which is really unfair because any business is hard to set up, it's hard to start. I sort of pivoted into network marketing in the last couple of years, and it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Harder than completely starting from scratch almost, because you're trying to promote somebody else's brand, which didn't sit well with me. But it was an eye opener, and it got me personal development. It showed me that I shouldn't be ignorant to people that do it and understand why they do it, and how it really is a great source of second income for most people.
Mm.
So I think for those type of women, going into big corporate chamber networking events, it's like, well, no, people. I've seen it myself when I've sat with in the past, when I've sat with ladies that have come in from skincare or makeup or beauty. The men, you can see the instant judgment of like, that's not really a business, is it? Which is just awful. I
Yeah.
think it's a lot better now. But to be a host, knowing that I'm supporting any woman in business, whether that's, an SME of 15, 20 plus staff, or, you're on your own or a part-time weekend, that's what it is for me. And a couple of girls actually at the last meeting hadn't even started their business yet. They just wanted to sit around the table and just hear stories. And it was brilliant. It was so nice to have them.
On
So
everything,
hopefully,
I'm nodding and
yeah,
smiling away as you're saying all of this because
yeah.
to hear you talk so passionately about it, and to know that we are building, I do call it a movement now because that's how I feel.
Mm.
That's what I feel it's growing
Yeah,
into. I used to say tribe, but that doesn't feel right. It feels more like a movement now. These incredible communities that are creating one bigger community. And everything that you've just described is exactly what I wanted to create when I first set up the Sisterhood networking group. It's nearly 4 years ago now,
yeah.
mainly due to exactly what you've just said, that those scary environments that some networking meetings have, and I'm not here to badmouth anybody, I'm not here to say you
No,
shouldn't go, but just to say that for me, I used to sit in the car with my palms sweating and my heart racing, thinking, I don't want to go in there and put myself through that. And it was a monthly
yeah.
situation for me. And I always used to think to myself, there must be a better way of doing this, surely. And then it just all came about purely by accident,
No.
just by bringing women together at a local pub after
Mhm,
COVID,
mhm.
after we've been,
Yeah.
shut behind closed doors for such a long time, and we're all just desperate to be in the company of one another, and then it's grown from there. But yeah, and you saying, the connection thing. When you meet somebody and you listen to what they do and you think, oh my God, I know somebody that I need to
Yeah.
introduce you to, and the way that makes you feel when you can watch things playing out, or you get some feedback from someone who says, thanks so much for that introduction. I'm now able to do this, or I'm going to be launching this as a result of that. And so I would say to anybody that, as we said at the start of this little section of our chat about, you're just starting your business, or maybe you haven't started your business yet, as you said,
Mhm.
you've had ladies coming along that are not even at that point yet.
Not even at the
If you
point, yeah,
haven't
so long.
got, yeah, if you haven't got a sisterhood networking group near you, then chances are there'll be one opening very soon. But seek out a meeting or meetings, because you shouldn't just stick to one. I am a great believer in that. Obviously
Mhm.
what we offer is great, but find a couple of rooms where you feel completely welcome, like you can be yourself, that there's no pressure, there's no stress, and that you can build some really lovely relationships, not just business relationships,
Mhm.
but really lovely friends as well. I think that's probably true for you as well, Nat. Have you made some lovely new
That's
friends?
definitely.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, sometimes too many.
Trying to
No,
keep
no,
up with them all.
everyone's so lovely. And the people around you, that get you, that understand who you are and what you do. And yeah, it's been amazing. I've made so many new friends through it, which is great because when you're in business, it can be really lonely. It is lonely. It's really lonely. Especially, I mean, I'm fortunate I do have staff, but they're always on the road doing deliveries, etc. So I'm just in this room on my own most days. Well, toddling around, but it's really lonely. And when you come out of that meeting, you just feel lifted.
Yeah.
You just feel like people are around and it's okay because business is hard and it's getting harder. I think cost of living at the moment is really hard. I think the UK government is really taxing self-employed people to the hilt. So I just think it's just getting tougher and tougher. So you need that network support,
Yeah,
because
yeah, I
that
agree.
you're the lifeline of longevity of business, really.
Yeah,
Um, and
yeah.
I'm glad I fell into networking early on in my business. And then, in COVID, there was 10 of us in the wedding industry who are still very dear friends of mine now. And we used to just message each other every day because none of us could work. And we'd always share each other's Instagram posts and make sure that we were just helping each other stay, visible on social media and just keep talking us through. One day someone would be really low, but the other one would be okay. And then we'd, swap around. And so
Yeah,
we really supported each other because we were out of work for nearly 2 years,
yeah,
where,
yeah,
weddings and events were the last things to sort of open. So it was really
yeah,
tough.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, finding
so,
that group of ladies that you said, that really are your biggest cheerleader. That's the thing. You want to find those ladies that will
yes.
remember you. So this is where consistency is key with networking. So don't just go once and never go back. Because
No,
no
no, I
one,
don't.
unfortunately, no matter how great you are, how
No,
great
no
your business
one's
is,
going to remember
no one's going to remember you. So
exactly.
consistency for the win. But also, I also say the best
Mm.
networking gets done once you leave. So you've met all this wonderful table of women, then the onus is on you to carry on those relationships once you've left that room. So reach out to people that you've met, connect with them, message them, arrange to have coffee or lunch with them. Really form those lovely relationships because that's when the magic happens. And that's when you will get those referrals. You will get someone talking you up or tagging you on social media when someone's asking for, whatever your skill set happens to be. They will remember you and they will
Mhm.
want to put your name in the mix. So yeah, it definitely you'll reap the rewards in the long run if you really work at your networking. That's
No, definitely, yeah, and yeah, definitely. That's all I can say about that. Really, it
yeah,
helps if it helps that I'm a people person. I understand some people can get nervous and that, but it really
yeah.
will just for confidence, just for your own confidence more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will enrich you in so many ways, and you will learn things that you didn't
Oh,
know. You
loads,
will be
yeah, loads.
introduced to modalities and treatments and breath work and all sorts of lovely
Yeah,
things
I
that
know,
you
which I
didn't even know
love now.
existed.
I know. I never did that work.
Um,
Very good.
I want to talk to you about awards because the Sisterhood Networking Group won its first award in May this year, which was super exciting
Yeah.
for us all. It's very much our award, not my award. And I was absolutely chuffed to bits to win Excellence in Business at the Women Who Awards. I know you're an award winner as well. Tell it, and this has been like ongoing for
Uh,
some time. How did you feel when you won your first award, and what was it for?
so I've won the North Wales Wedding Awards for 3 years in a row now. So the first year I won was, so it'll be 2023. And I was pregnant with Sydney. And I
Oh.
just felt, and I was so itchy. She was born in January and the awards were always November. So I had quite a big bump. And it was the first time we'd even sort of, well, I'd even thought about awards really. Actually, no, I'm lying. I was in the national the year before. We were finalists in the national. Unfortunately, I didn't win that. Um, but yeah, this one was dear to me because I'm in North Wales. So my clients are mostly North Wales. I'm right on the border, so mostly Flintshire, Chester. So when my name was read out, it just felt amazing. And then stupidly, I sat back down. It was in like an auditorium where we were sort of sitting watching the awards. It's a glass star that's up there. I put it on my lap, and then someone wanted the toilet, so I stood up to let them go past and forgot it was on my lap, and it smashed.
No! Oh my
That was my experience of getting my first ever award. I was like, no. I'll never
Oh
forget my bless
no!
her. She was mortified. And I was like, well, it's not your fault, it's my fault. I should have remembered. But so I had to pay for it myself to get it so
Get
I
it
was like, oh,
redone.
that's good.
Oh no, it's memorable, isn't it? For sure.
And
Oh.
I was in such a state because I was itching so much with the pregnancy. My
Mm,
stomach was so bad the last couple of months of it. And I just wanted to get out of this. I had this like velvet dress on, and I was just like, I just need to go because I couldn't drink. Obviously, I was, heavily
yeah,
pregnant.
yeah.
So it wasn't the best first experience. So then the second year, I was like, oh my God, we've been nominated again. Amazing. I'm going to go all out this time, get my hair done properly, get it, but I honestly didn't think I'd win again. I just was like, so when my name was called the second time, I went into complete shock. And then last year, I was adamant we weren't going to win. I said, no chance. We're not going to win again. I've not really done, we've not innovated anything. So the first 2 years I bought in some new equipment. We were the first ones to have the full audio telephone box. We do like large animal props, giraffes, elephants. So I bought in like new equipment and I'd done nothing last year. It was just rolling on. So I was like, there's nothing new. There's no new website. There's no new products. I'm not going to win. So sitting at the table in November last year, I was gobsmacked. So
Oh,
I was
so
crying
what?
my eyes out.
Yeah, I mean that's a bloody amazing achievement. What
Mm.
what do you so innovation is obviously important. It's important to keep moving forward and introducing new stuff, but you must whoever's doing the judging is looking at you, the business that you've established over this last 10 years, and you are obviously the best around. So
I know it sounds silly, but I'm the only woman. I'm the only woman who owns an entertainment hire business that I know of in the Northwest, at least,
yeah,
because it's heavy equipment. So, I do dance floors. The photo booth isn't light. The magic mirror is over 90 kilos. Everything's quite heavy, so it's a very male dominated world. Whereas in the wedding industry, the women are usually the cake makers, the venue dressers, the florists, the
yeah,
makeup artists, etc. So I think it's unusual for me being a woman is and I love talking to people. So I have a very good relationship with all my brides. I say mostly brides. We do a lot of corporate now, and I'm moving into corporate, but with the brides especially, I'm just looking now. I've got like loads of those are like thank you cards that I get from brides, which I just adore.
oh,
Just because I really talk about, because I know what they're thinking. They're thinking no one's going to enjoy themselves. What if should I have done more? Should we have had this? And it's almost like saying, I always say to people, I'm not trying to sell you anything you don't need, but to create an atmosphere. So, like, one of our most popular things is lawn games. Very simple, but they fly out the door because they're such a great icebreaker. But when you're off having, when the couple's off having their photos done, everyone's standing around, you need something to do. So, lawn games are a very sort of budget option, but so, so popular for anyone.
yeah,
Um, and then, people say, "Oh, do I really need a dance floor?" No, you don't really need a dance floor. Of course you don't. You can dance anywhere, but it does look good. And if you
yeah,
look back at your photos and see all this LED starlight, so it's speaking through with them, understanding what their budget is, what they actually really want from the day.
yeah.
A lot of people, it's about other people. So
Mm.
I would say the majority of weddings that I do, when I speak to brides, it's all about how the guests are going to feel, not out. And it's awful, really, because I'm like, no, no, this is your day, but they're planning a party. I
Yeah.
hate saying a wedding for guests effectively. So it's understanding what they actually want.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
love it. And then, the corporate events now are just fantastic. I've fallen now into helping with the brands for Together Again, which is a huge family festival, which is perfect for me. Family, music, events, happy days. I'm in my element. So
oh,
I'm doing that now.
I'm
And
loving
just
all of
I'm just
this for
ready to go.
you.
I'm ready to go bigger and bigger. So yeah, the next 10 years, it's only really been in the last couple of months that I've really thought about this, but my new strategy is going big. So we will go national within 10 years,
That's
definitely.
exciting. Are
And
you a planner? Are you a spreadsheet kind of girl? Do you like have a 5 year plan? I don't know. She's shaking her head.
well, no, I know I don't. No, I don't. I do just sort of go with the flow. I say yes to most things. I shouldn't all the time. It has put me into situations that I didn't want to be in. But if an opportunity presents itself and I get a feeling about it, I'll say yes. So Sisterhood, I was like, you know what? I didn't really have the time, but I was like, no, I need to do this. This is
Yeah.
this is something I really want to do. So I mean, literally last weekend, I decided I am going to be organising a huge showcase event of my own to celebrate 10 years in business. It won't be in October because it's too last minute, but I'm hoping by February, March next year. So you're very welcome to come.
Oh,
But a huge, like, sort of
oh,
almost a
that
huge
sounds
party, showcase everything I do, get all the entertainment suppliers. I'm very much about collaboration one of the things I would say to anyone in business, really, really respect and make friends with your competitors, because there are so many times I've needed a photo booth from someone because my staff wasn't available, or technology is, so you can lean on the people.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I've done better than others in the sense, because I've always got a pool of people that will always have my back and I'll always have theirs, and we support each other in
Yes.
whatever way. It may like papers run out and I didn't have time to go and buy print paper, go on the phone, go and collect it, and we'll do the same for
Yeah.
most. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
competition is the devil of any business, and if you really take it seriously and you're not supportive to other people in the same field, then you might as well just sign your death warrant. Really, that's
Uh,
how I feel anyway.
I couldn't,
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree. And that's something, that we're really passionate about, as you know, with our meetings. Collaboration over competition is one of our company
Mm.
values, and I'm hugely passionate about it, and I love that you are too. And for some people it is a process. It's something they have to get their heads around because, we've been brought up, certainly girls as well, I think. I mean,
Mm.
guys just get on with it, but
Yeah.
girls, we are pitted against each other. We are told literally that life is a competition. And you've literally got to climb over people to get ahead. And what
Yeah.
I want to tell you is, and what Nat wants to tell you, is that you don't have to do that.
Well, that's
Don't,
right.
don't do that. Don't do
Don't do
that.
that.
Link arms with the people that are doing the same thing as you. Get to know them, support one another. Exactly what you just said, Nat. I love everything about what you just said. Because
It is because it's not about, how many photo booths have you hired out this week, or how. It's not about that. It's about you've chosen to be in the same industry. That's special in itself, that
yeah,
you're both living the same life, that you can support each other to say, look, I'm doing this as well. Like, how can we, and all the time. So we subcontract off each other. I'm booked quite a lot, and I give out so many jobs to people because, I'm very fortunate. We've got a very good reputation. So, but I only have one mirror booth and I only have one photo booth. I never wanted to invest in loads more.
yeah.
I'm always giving away jobs
Oh.
because, yeah, yeah, it's
It's a
worked
much
well for me.
nicer way to do
Nicer,
business, isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly, so much nicer. I've come
Yeah,
across some very different people.
yeah. And they
Just
will
stay
all.
away from them.
Yeah, exactly that. Stay away from the people that don't understand, the power of connection and collaboration because honestly, you'll benefit so much from it in so many ways if you embrace it and figure out how you can factor it in to your business. We are almost out of time. I could obviously could chat to you all day long, but we got to stop somewhere.
Okay.
So
Okay.
before I say goodbye to you, as always, I
Okay.
have to ask you the two questions I ask all my guests that come to chat to me on the podcast. So lovely, Nat. My first question to you is there
Okay.
one thing that you wish you'd known before you became a solo self-employed business owner?
Honestly, I wish I knew more about taxes and expenses. And I really wish that I had done like maybe a small course in financials, because it is a minefield, and but keep your receipts, keep your receipts. But I don't, there are so many things I've learned along the way that I wish I'd knew back in year one or year two. I would have saved a fortune. So
I love
yes.
that. Can I just say that that doesn't come up very often?
Oh,
Normally,
there you go.
it's no.
I'm useless at finance, so that's for
No,
me.
but
It's
I
like,
love only like literally I can count on one hand the amount of times people have said know your numbers, talk about taxes. But I
yeah,
love that because it's so true. Get a really good accountant, people. I
just
have a
yeah,
brilliant one. She's
understand it. Yeah,
awesome, and she does all.
yeah.
I literally just go over to you, Sarah. Another Sarah, um, Sarah Humphrey. I'll give her a shout. She's amazing.
Hey.
Um, yeah, oh, yeah. That's
Yeah, that'd
such
be
a
my
great.
number one. Yeah, you can save a lot of time in the future if you know a lot more at the beginning when it comes to your accounts, what your numbers mean, what different government legislation for different
What
taxes, for
you can
different, whether
claim,
limited, whether
people. Yeah.
I went limited in year six, and actually, and now I'm considering should I be limited, and now I'm trying to work out. So it's just finding out. Um, as early as you can, really, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, get your
Yeah,
head around it all because it will save you
yeah,
in the long run. I love that. Thank you.
yeah.
And a final
Oh
top
God,
tip.
right, yeah.
I think we've covered quite a lot. I think we've chatted a lot.
My top tip is talk to people. Just talk
Yes.
to people. Like, just talk. And like I say, we all have it. Like, you were at the festival last weekend. These small connections that you didn't even know you had with someone, whether that, I was bumping into different women that were like, yeah, I've had my nose pierced. I was like, me too. I had my nose pierced randomly last weekend, or us being from Essex, or
Yeah.
our daughters play tennis or whatever it might be. It's just a conversation, but it leads to so many opportunities. It's unreal. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
definitely talk
so
to people.
Yeah, talk. And don't be shy to start a conversation with people. I have a little handbag that goes everywhere with me. Normally, I've got the dog with me, and you never know who you might bump into or who you might end up having a conversation with. And I always have business cards in my handbag, always. Because and some people say, oh no, business cards are dead. You don't need a business card anymore. It's just just get a QR code and get someone to scan it. But then once it's in your phone or your gadget, it gets forgotten and it's gone. Had a bit of a clear out yesterday in
Mm.
here in my kitchen, and I found loads of business cards that I'd completely forgotten about from an event that I went to last year. And I sat down and I went through them all and I sent messages to people that I'd meant to have done last year, but didn't because life got in the way and you forget about it. If I hadn't
Yeah,
have had those business cards, I wouldn't have
you
thought,
never
oh,
reach.
I really need to speak. We started having a conversation and, it got left and lost. So,
Love
no,
that.
business cards for the win, folks. Have all the chats. Chat, chat,
Chat to
chat.
everyone, chat on the bus, chat on the train. You never
Yeah,
know. You
yeah,
never
you
know
never
who's sitting
know
next to you.
who that person might know that could be an amazing connection. It might not be them, it might be someone they know.
Mm.
Um, you have been so lovely to chat to. Thank you so
Okay, thank
much.
you.
I have to say as well, popped her podcast cherry with me. First timer.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're a first
Oh.
timer. Hopefully this has inspired the first of many chats on many podcasts for you. But before I let you go, could you just tell everybody if they want to search you up online, find out more about your events business, where do they go, lovely?
So our website is just www.glamoureventsHire.co.uk, or I'm on Instagram at Glamour Events Hire.
Amazing. And Sisterhood Networking Group,
Sisterhood
Chester.
Networking Group Chester, that's on Facebook. That's just
Yeah.
the Sisterhood
Oh,
Networking Group Chester.
Chester.
They can find that. Or Natalie Silverstone is my name. There's not many of us, so
There's
should come
not
up.
many of you,
Yeah.
and you are everywhere, and I love you so much. And thank you so much for coming to
Thank
chat to me. I'm
you.
wishing you every success for the next 10 years and beyond, and I can't wait to celebrate with you early next year for
Oh,
all the
fabulous. Thank
milestones.
you.
Uh,
Yeah, that'd be
Thanks
good.
so much, lovely lady. I will
Okay,
see you
thanks,
soon.
Ellen.
Bye.
Bye.